All right, so I want to do a video about the debate. Now, it looks like we're actually getting my truck fixed. Thank God. Um, we're finally moving on it. And I gotta be honest, I can't wait until this truck is running and I can start living like not a normal person, but I can. I'm so tired of staying where I'm staying. I'll do a whole video about it. That's actually probably pretty soon. I got a lot of videos I want to make. And so let me get this debate one out of the way. I should have did this one yesterday. But so I watched the debate. I I thought it was very entertaining, especially when they started arguing about golf. Hold up. But now here's what I don't really get. I get it, but I don't get it. It's like, why would the Democrats put Biden out there like that? It's almost like they want Trump to win. They can put in Gavin Newsom. I don't think he has a chance. Just look at California. I mean, California used to have a bigger economy than like half the countries in the world, and now it's a disaster. It's been driven into the ground, and nobody wants to live there. Everyone went to Texas, just like everyone in New York went to Florida. Everyone in California went to Texas. So I don't see that Gavin Newsom has a chance. I don't know who else the Democrats could put up, but it was almost like they put Biden out there to make him look bad. And politics is a dirty game, and they seem stupid, but they're not stupid. It's like all these stupid, goofy moves they seem to make. There's a reason for it. They don't do anything without a reason. You know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of people think like, oh, they put him out there like that because they want to take him out of the race and put in some other Democrat. That seems logical, but what I think, this is my theory, they want Biden to lose. They want Trump to win, even though they act like they don't. They want Trump to win, and when Trump gets in office, things are going to improve just enough to convince us that this whole system is still legitimate. Because here's the thing: what has Biden's presidency really taught us? And it's taught us a lot of things that we already knew. Politics is bullshit. Everyone's corrupt, this and that. But here's the main lesson we get from Biden's presidency is that anyone can be president. They don't need to have their faculties intact. They don't need to be lucid. They don't need to be intelligent. They don't need to be sharp. Anyone can be president. Do you really think that Biden has any control? You saw him at the debate. I mean, he there was not a whole lot of thinking going on there. And I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. Look, I don't like Biden. I think he's the scum of the earth. I think he's a typical trash politician who has sold us all out for his own personal gains. I have no pity for people like that. I think very little of Biden. But I'm not about to make fun of someone who's having health issues like that because it is a serious thing. And it's a sad thing. My grandmother had similar stuff, and by the end, look, I don't know what Biden's diagnosis is, but my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and toward the end, she'd be talking to my father on the phone and talking about my uncle coming back from the Navy, which happened in like the 50s or 60s or some shit. You know what I mean? So it's not a funny thing when someone's mind starts going. It shouldn't really be made fun of, but I got no mercy for Biden. I feel no pity for him. I think he sold us all out, like I said, for his own personal gains. I think he's a corrupt criminal, lying, scheming, sneaky, shitty politician. I can't stand the guy. But that aside, now, um, what's the main thing we learned from his presidency is that anyone can be president. A can of soup could be president. A dog, a house cat. It doesn't matter. You could put anyone there. It doesn't matter. Like, do you really think that Biden's making decisions? Do you think they're sitting there waiting for him to make decisions and doing what he says? I mean, if anything, it's the complete opposite. They're propping him up on stage. They're drilling him with the questions, and I even though I can't stand the guy, I do in the slightest bit feel a little sorry for him because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about on that stage. I mean, and that's just to even put the guy under that kind of pressure at his age in his condition. Like these 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 friggin' politicians and Democrats and Republicans, they're so ruthless that, it just no, there's no loyalty there. They're all trashed. They're the worst people on earth. But so here's the thing: who's been running the country for the past 4 years? We It obviously isn't Biden. Who's in charge? And why would that change when Trump is in office? You know what I mean? So the whole point here is that it's all a big show. It doesn't matter who the president is. Whoever's in charge is not up to us. Voting is not the answer. It's a big show. It's a big play to keep us pacified and to keep us from realizing that the people in charge have an agenda, and there's nothing we can do about it short of. I mean, I've got ideas, and I'll get into those later in the video. There's things we can do that are not violent. That it's um. Here's the thing: we don't need to participate. We could we could buy a big, huge piece of land and start our own society there. That I believe is the answer. I believe in the future as time goes on, the smart people are going to head out into the woods and buy big pieces of property and create their own societies that basically ignore this entire federal system. They're going to they're going to pay it no mind. And as time goes on, less and less people are going to participate because it's illegitimate. They're not in charge of anything. They're you know, here's nothing happens without your consent. I believe voting and playing along with this whole thing basically gives them consent to be in charge of everything. I don't vote. I've never voted in my life. I never felt the urge to be honest, when I was younger, and all those, we're going to war in Iraq and Afghanistan after September 11th, when, according to all the information we were getting, um, it was Saudi Arabians who did that on September 11th. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why would we go to war in Iraq and Afghanistan when it was Saudi Arabian people who did it? Now, I wasn't thinking, oh, we should go to war with Saudi Arabia, but I was thinking, where's the connection there? And of course, they conjured up this connection. Oh, it was Osama bin Laden and the Taliban. Here's the thing: if it was Osama bin Laden and they were so sure of it, why didn't they charge him? Why didn't they like? He was never like officially charged with anything. They never provided any type of evidence to justify these wars. They just said, "Oh, he did it. He said he did it. Of course, he said he did it." I mean, you're giving him credit for something that you know it's they can't stand, and I don't blame them, but they can't stand Americans. And here's the other thing: it's not that they hate American people; they hate American government, and you can't blame them for that. If you look back on the history of the things our government has done all over the world, not just the Middle East, but the theory I heard that makes the most sense is Israel wanted us to go to war in Iraq. That's why we did it. Um, and here's what's amazing to me. Back then, I was against the war because I was thinking to myself, none of this makes sense. They're saying there's weapons of mass destruction, but they've never provided any type of proof or evidence of this. So why are we started a war with no proof or evidence of anything. So I was against it. But here's the thing: I was living in Florida at the time, and I was laying sod, and everyone was all for it. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why? And basically, what it comes down to is, in their minds, they weren't thinking deep into it at all. They were just thinking, they attacked us on September 11th. Now it's time for us to attack them. But none of it was connected. It was similar to if this neighbor over here came and stole everything I owned, and then I went and attacked that neighbor over there. You know what I mean? And I've been following this account on Instagram based on just weird things about September 11th, and I've got to say, I'm gonna make a video about it at some point and just show y'all some of the more you know, some of the more concrete evidence that has been presented that I'm just collecting it all now because a lot of the things it's there's it's speculation, but then there's other things that there's no arguing with it, and in my opinion, it proves that it was an inside job. Now, it's not something I take lightly. My father was a New York City fireman. I'm from New York. I grew up thinking New York City was the greatest place on earth because we had the tallest buildings, we had the Twin Towers, the Empire State Building, we had all this cool shit. I loved it. When I was a kid, I was grateful that I was from New York, and I'm from right outside the city in Valley Stream, which is right outside of Queens. But it's not like I'm happy that the Twin Towers are gone or something. I grew up every time we went into the city seeing those towers and being amazed by them. I've been up in those towers, and it really hurt my heart to see that happen to my home city. You know what I mean? So, I'm not one of these people who takes it lightly, but and in the beginning, when I heard people saying, "Oh, it was an inside job and this and that," I used to think to myself like, this ain't something to be playing around with. Like 4,000 people died or something, and it seemed to me that people were making like a game out of it, like, "Oh, it was the government who did it." Now, after years have gone by, and I've seen a lot of evidence about it, uh, I do not believe I'll make a whole video about it. I'm not even going to get into it now. But here's the thing: it this whole thing, all of it, is a big show, and we should stop giving our consent to it. We should stop legitimizing these politicians. Look, I want Trump to win. I want to see what's going to happen. I believe if there's any hope of having a good leader at this point, it would be Trump. Who else is it going to be? I see a lot of people like, oh, this is, you know, they're both terrible and this and that. It's like no one can even admit that Biden is just done. But it's like, who else? Who do you want to be in charge? I'll pick Trump over anyone else because he seems to be the most confident and the most genuine. Even though I do believe he has controlled opposition, what what I believe is going to happen is they are going to have Trump win, and things are going to improve just enough to shut everyone up, and that's fine with me. Just, I mean, I went to the every time I go to the grocery store, I'll buy a couple of things. It's at least 20, 30 bucks every time. I'm not buying a lot of things. The prices, our economy is ridiculous right now. Do you have any idea how much more we pay for everything in America? We're getting so fucked. It makes me sick. And I'll put it to you this way: if you went to South Africa and ate at McDonald's, you'd eat for like $5. In America, you're spending like 20. You're getting the same thing. It's just they've found ways to screw us harder than everyone else. And one of those main ways is by telling us how privileged we are and how lucky we are. And you got all these simple minded fucking people like, oh, well, we live in the greatest country in the world. These fucking wasps seem to want war, bro. Dude, I mean, I don't know where they're coming from. Hopefully, they're not coming from inside my car. But, um, so now, what the hell was I saying? I got these wasps hovering around my face, and it just throws me off. I need something. I can't swing this thing properly. I'm about to step out there and start knocking these motherfuckers out, bro. Um, oh yeah. So, damn, my mic's been over here the whole time. Look, give us a little relief economically. The other upside to Trump is I believe he's going to try to get our oil industry cranking again, and believe it or not, gas prices have a major impact on everything. On everything. If the gas prices go down, everything goes down. You know what I mean? This is what boggles my mind in these modern Western societies, Europe, America. All these fucking idiots have to do to have booming, rich countries filled with happy, rich people. All they have to do, it's literally this simple. This is all they have to do. Get the gas prices down. Not a hard thing to do considering all the oil we have in America between Alaska and Texas, and we've got plenty of oil here. Apparently we were exporting oil when Trump was president. So they trick everyone into thinking climate change and environmental and this and that. Look, it, it, those things, if they really wanted those things fixed, they wouldn't be going about it the way they are. Here's the thing: if if the environment and the economy and the planet, look at this motherfucker, bro. Do you want to die? Get the fuck out, like right now. Get out, or I beat the shit out of you. It's, I'm telling you, they can sense when you're about to kill them because they go away at that point. If you're afraid of them, they'll just be, attacking you and shit. But if they sense that you're about to kill them, he ain't going nowhere though. This one's got more balls than brains. Look, it's this simple. If climate change and the earth mattered to them, they would be building self-sustaining structures. They wouldn't be trying to make you eat bugs to change the weather. They would be every new construction home or building would be generating its own power and recycling its own water. Those two things, we have the technology to do that. They don't give a shit about the climate, and it doesn't matter. If it mattered to them, all new construction would be built generating its own power and recycling its own water. It's that simple. That's not a hard thing to do. The reason they're not doing that, it's because they make money off the power and the water. So what this whole climate change thing it's bullshit. It it's a lie. Look, how do we still believe them when after all the shit they've done, all these illegal wars in the Middle East, apparently a million Iraqis were killed. There's a big, huge, major lie, number one. Look at the evidence from September 11th. Just look at the direction our societies have gone in steadily for the past 50, 100 years. Look at, you know, Biden as president. Obviously, he can't do anything except what he's told. It's like, why do you guys still believe them? That's what I don't get. Why do you guys still trust them? I don't really. It just doesn't make sense logically if you put any thought into it. But so, if you want evidence, go on my Patreon. I've got lots of evidence on there proving lots of things that are going to blow your mind that I I can't even begin to explain it. But the just go on there if you want to know who's really in charge of the country, because it ain't Biden and it ain't going to be Trump. So go on there if you're interested in seeing what's really going on. So hopefully I got my points across. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. My main point here is that the president doesn't matter. They're two puppets. We're watching sock puppets go back and forth. Um, and we have no say in what's happening. So, in my opinion, we should be starting our own societies, getting our own land, and separating ourselves from this foolishness. Let them drive themselves into the ground. If we've got our own self sustained communities with weapons and defenses, we're good. It doesn't matter what they do. You know what I mean? So, that's eventually, once I've got a lot of money, which I'm planning on having at some point, I'm going to buy a big, huge piece of land and I'm going to create my own state and Uh, we will form our own army and we will exist outside of all this bullshit. That's my long-term plan, and hopefully other people are planning the same. But so, um, but yeah, my advice to just be prepared for whatever happens is be prepared. You know, have some extra food around. Have some weapons and ammo just in case. I mean, it's good to be ready. That's my opinion. This is one of the main reasons I want to live in a vehicle. As if I could go rent a room right now. I don't want to. I don't want to be stuck somewhere renting some dump. I'd rather be mobile with a car filled with everything I need. So I could go wherever I want and do whatever I want. And if worse comes to worse, I can drive myself out to the middle of nowhere and just hunker down and wait for shit to calm down. This is one of the reasons I want to live in a car, among many others. Uh, I'll make a video about that at some point too. But so yeah, hopefully this video makes sense. My next video, I want to do something about you'll just see it. It's gonna be a little different, but it's gonna be very interesting. So that's gonna be the next one. So um and yeah, I've got to talk to the people on my other channel too. I'm not sure if I want to keep doing this Red Dead Redemption playthrough, to be honest. We'll see. If you guys want me to keep doing it, I'll keep doing it, but we'll see. I'll talk to y'all on the other channel, the people who are there. So appreciate every single one of y'all. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the tips. Thanks to my loyal Patreons. I really appreciate y'all. Um, and I guess that's about the end of this one. If you got anything you want me to respond to, try to get it within the first 30 comments. I usually respond to like the first 30 or so. So, yeah, if you got anything to say it in the comments, and I will try to respond to it. I guess that's the end of this one. I'm not sure when my next video is going to be because we got a lot to do with this car and a little bit of time to do it. So, um, we'll see what happens. But I'll see y'all in the next one. Everybody have a good one.